Hey guys, it's Gaia, what's up? So today isn't one of my usual university advice videos. It's more of like a sit down where I've been chatty kind of video. I know a lot of you might be like, it's only been a week, like it's not like you've been away for like a year or anything, but especially since we've just hit 400 subs, which also, by the way, it really means the world that 400 of you have stuck around enough to subscribe. But yeah, especially since my channel is starting to grow a lot more, I'm starting to feel like more and more that we are like this family, not to sound corny, but at the end of the day, you have come onto my channel to seek help. And I'm here to help you. So I kind of see this as like a two-way partnership, but I'm not only here for my university content, I'm here as a friend, an advisor, someone you can go to when you're in need. And ever since I first started this channel nearly a year ago, which is actually quite exciting, I've made so many new friendships from around the world. And I feel like it would be unfair of me if I only posted the highlights, this shiny highlights reel of my life, and didn't post like the lowlights or the bad moments. And this week was a bad moment for me. So basically, let's skip back to like a week ago, last Saturday, which was like the 1st or the 2nd of August, and I had just finished my work shift. I started having a bit of tooth pain, like a dull ache in the back of your mouth. I was like, oh, it's probably because, you know, it's because I've been drinking too many cold drinks, or I probably had like an ice lolly and it's probably like made my sensitive teeth flare up. So I didn't really think anything of it at the time. When it was happening, I was just like, I'm just going to slap on some Bonjela, I'm just going to take some paracetamol, like I'll be fine. And I went home on the Sunday, and during that day I remember I kept asking my boyfriend Dan for like paracetamol because it was getting a lot more noticeable, and I was like, this is weird, like have I cracked a tooth or something? Because I've done that in the past. I've realised a lot recently because of my anxiety, I naturally grind my teeth in my sleep, which can end up obviously leading to like pressure against the teeth and cracking if you're not careful. And so I was like, oh no, it's probably like a cracked tooth or something. But either way, I was just hoping like, you know, the pain would go down, and it was still sort of manageable. It hurt, but it was okay. Like I was okay. Like, you know, I could like handle it. Monday was the day it started flaring, and I started to feel like even if it is a cracked tooth or something possibly even more sinister, I have to go get this checked out. So I basically had to book an emergency dentist appointment after hours to go see them. They x-rayed it basically and found that I have some decay under one of my filling, well, my only filling at the back of my one of my, I think my back molar here. I've had that filling for like a few years now. That was from like a cracked tooth. So I was like, okay, but basically they need to get the infection out, and that's what's causing the pain. So they can either do a root canal or they can get the tooth out like completely. Both of those options seemed quite scary at the time because they both involve injections and needles. If you know me, you know that there's people with phobias of needles, and then there's me. Like I freak out so much. Like I was that guy that would always pass out like whenever we had like injections at school. I even passed out once in a biology class when we were just talking about blood, and there was no blood in the room. There wasn't even that many like gruesome photos or anything like that. Like I just, for some reason, I get really freaked whenever people talk about it. Like I just go into shock. Like I can't handle it. Like I'll throw up, I'll hallucinate, no joke, I will hyperventilate. Like it's quite scary. After going away with my antibiotics, I decided that I was probably gonna vouch for root canal, but because it was an emergency, they couldn't do the whole procedure like together because it was at like 10 o'clock at night on Monday, and because of COVID and all that stuff, like there was loads of complications. That's basically what happened for the rest of the week. The pain got worse, and when I say worse, it got so bad that I was literally taking ibuprofen, paracetamol, antibiotics. They even doubled my antibiotics because I had to keep coming back because it was getting so bad. Like they even offered me sedation. I was looking at having potentially 6 needles plus in my mouth because of where the tooth is. They needed like so many to numb the area, and obviously that doesn't work well with me. So they offered me sedation, which was also a needle in my arm, and as you can see, it was kind of like the lesser of two evils. Obviously I was gonna opt for sedation, but because it was an emergency procedure, they couldn't do sedation like all in one go, like, you know, in those hours, like after hours. For sedation, I've never had sedation before, so they needed to assess me and actually make sure I could like, I woke up like after all of this. So yeah, I've either had the option of waiting until the next Thursday for my sedation assessment appointment and carry on with the antibiotics, or have the first half of the root canal now, but obviously I can't be sedated, so I'd have to have the like 3 or 4 needles for the first half. Honestly, last week was horrific. I thought to first try the antibiotics because needles, no, you know. The pain was still horrific. Like, it got to the point where, like, I literally, it was so painful, it numbed. The pain just naturally kind of like numbed half of my jaw. Like, it was that painful. Like, you know when you get in like movies where like someone's like cut their arm off or something and it's so painful that it's numb? That's what I was feeling, and I was in no fit state last week to film a video or anything. Like, I was on the sofa for the entire week just in pajamas, like screaming every few hours because even though I'd taken ibuprofen, it wasn't working. They then brought me back in on Friday and I was like,
okay, I'm just gonna have to try and brave the needles. I just really want this pain to stop.
Like, it was generally driving me insane. Like, I was crying my eyes out. It was the pain, it was so bad generally that it was starting to really mess with my head. I basically got to Friday and I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna do this and all this stuff, and then they came back and said like,
look, you're too much of a risk. We don't want to risk your health. Like, if you have a bad reaction to these needles because of your phobia, we might end up having to call for an ambulance.
And calling for an ambulance in this whole COVID situation is a bad idea. So I then was asked to then come back the next day, and honestly, I've not had any sleep at all. The pain's been horrific. As I said, it's Sunday now as I'm filming it. I had the procedure happen yesterday. I will include some footage of me showing you guys basically half my mouth numb from the anaesthetic. I ended up braving the 4 needles and thankfully I went into shock, but I was able to contain it. But yeah, now we're here and the anaesthetic has worn off, hence why I can use my mouth. Yesterday I was dribbling everywhere. It was really grim. I couldn't eat. I couldn't even drink for a straw because there's so many like needles to numb the area that I just couldn't really even open my mouth. I can still sort of feel something here. Like, it doesn't feel painful, but it just feels like something's messed in my mouth, and I can still sort of feel like the dull feeling of like the anaesthetic. Like, it just sort of feels as though like my mouth has been messed with. That's basically it, and it's been quite an emotional and physical like turmoil of a week. I'm sure like other people could say there's worse things to happen to you in life, but in a way I lost a whole week of my life just sitting there on the couch like crying my eyes out because they couldn't get me in to do the whole procedure because of everything was booked up, and even when they could, like, they sent me away. Some of the antibiotics were actually making it worse as well, so I had that to deal with. It's been such like an immobilizing experience because I have such like a naturally busy schedule like during the week. Like, I have so much to do. It has left me feeling so frustrated for so many reasons. Not only have I literally not been able to do anything but just sit there, but I've also not been able to do anything that's important to myself personally. It's results day this week for many A-level students, and I've had all this results day content lined up and like prepped, and I simply haven't been able to do it. Not only have I had YouTube stuff that I needed to complete, I've had people asking me to do interviews about university. I've had other work I needed to do, like where companies have like reached out to me. Like, for example, one of those things was some promo work I had to do for my blog of UCAS. I don't think I've actually mentioned it on this channel actually. So chances are, if you don't actually follow me on Instagram, I'll put a thing here. But if you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably don't know that roughly a month ago, UCAS approached me and asked me to write a blog about my experiences as a student trying to finish her second university year during a pandemic. And they've also asked me to do Instagram takeovers and other stuff to promote it, and I haven't really been able to because of my tooth. It's been such like a kick in the balls moment. I was literally ready to start filming. It's not something like a strained ankle or a broken arm that you can keep off camera. It's my mouth, and I have to use it for the video or it'd probably be quite a boring video. That's why I've not had anything out this week at all, and it's been so annoying because I've had so much stuff that I wanted to do. As you can see, like, I can talk now. I'm not in pain anymore. However, I am still recovering. It still does ache. There is like a dull aching pain that is still there, but it's nowhere near what I was dealing with like last week. As I mentioned, with the root canal, basically, like I said, they couldn't do the full procedure. I managed to get the first half of my root canal done with those 3 or 4 needles, but for the second half they need to actually go back into the tooth and like they need to like dress it more or something like that. My next appointment's in September, so I've got like another month to wait, and that's just because of COVID. I'm basically going to take it steady for the next month. It's been weird having to like chew on this side. I've generally, like yesterday I had to literally teach myself again how to eat because I really just couldn't open my mouth. I felt like I had lockjaw because of the amount of anaesthetic they gave me. I'm actually really proud of myself. Even if no one else says that, I'm proud of myself because anyone that knows me knows that I react so badly to needles, and not just needles but blood, any medical stuff. Like being sat in a hospital or a dentist like chair alone freaks me out. To have to go through 4 needles yesterday, awake in my mouth, in a place which is already sore. Obviously now that I'm sort of back on it, I am going to upload all the content that I want and finally do that UCAS takeover, so you should see that potentially this week at some point, so check out UCAS's Instagram page. Make sure you are ready for all of the content I have planned this week. I'm so thankful I can now get back to all the things I want to do, and yeah, it's been a really long, agonizing week where I've generally just wanted to jump out of a window. It's crazy how just something as simple as toothache can really just mess with you. I kind of wanted to sit down and just talk to you guys and just tell you where I've been, because a lot of you guys don't know me like personally, like, and I probably look like I just went off the grid for a week, and that is very unlike me. I like to have my 2 videos out every week, like on the dot, very consistently, and I hated not being able to post, and I'm so sorry if you guys were waiting for these videos, but like I really hope you guys feel like closer to me and that you guys know a bit more about what's happening in my life. That's what I did. I faced my demons, my phobia of needles. It wasn't just 1, it was 4, and I'm proud of myself. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I should have 2 videos up, but again, it depends how recovery is treating me. Like at the moment, I don't feel too bad, but I still think I've still got a little bit of anaesthetic in my gum. If I don't feel like I can upload anything this week, I will let you know on my Instagram. So follow that. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there really. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I'm really sorry if this was a really long chatty video, but yeah, thank you for watching guys, and if you got this far, please give it a massive thumbs up. I just really appreciate your support right now. Yeah, so bye.